Well, today, I've got a real interesting talk for you. Something I've been wanting to do for about a month, and I thought today is the perfect day today. So my talk title today is Shut the F Up. And I know that probably stunned you, but as you listen with an open mind, because I'm going to open you up to a spiritual practice called Saint Fu, STFU, Shut the F Up. So I was listening the other day to a song by the Tremolos, and some of you probably have no idea who the Tremolos are, but they did a song back when I was growing up called Silence is Golden. Have you ever wondered why silence is golden? Why is it that people say it's in the silence that things happen? Why is it in the silence where we get our greatest insights? I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are on that. Almost everything that we speak about is complaining, gossip, or unsolicited commentary and judgment. Contemplate that. Really contemplate that. Almost everything that you say is complaining, gossip, or unsolicited commentary and judgment. Is any of that necessary? I know in the book put out there about how to stop complaining, a complaint-free life, he talks about that 90% of what we say is gossip and complaining. Now throw on the unsolicited judgment and commentary. What percentage are we talking about? Oh my God, it's so high. And guess what? If you're complaining, you're judging, you're doing all of these things that are not that, are you really listening? Do you really listen to what's being said? Do you really listen in any way to yourself, to others? You see, when one truly listens, they are absolutely present and are silent. That's why silence is golden, because when you're silent, you're present. When one has nothing meaningful to say, silence is natural. I know my wife and I, when we go out to dinner, and we're in our 50th year of marriage, when we go out to dinner, there'll be many times when we're just purely silent. Because we're not going to talk about gossip. We're not going to complain. I'm not going to offer unsolicited advice to her because she hasn't asked for it. And that makes what? It makes our relationship go smoothly, easily, and effortlessly. You see, when we're not silent, we cannot hear when wisdom is presented to us, either the divine wisdom speaking to us through us, or the wisdom we may hear from someone else. We're too busy chattering. We're too busy trying to convince. We're too busy playing the ego game, being better than, competing, and all of that stuff. You see, if you want to connect to your partner, or anyone else for that matter, you've got to shut the F up. Shut the F up is a spiritual practice to quiet the ego. Think about this. If you want to truly love yourself, you've got to shut the heck up. Because what is love? It's self-acceptance. If you're doing talking to yourself, what are you doing most of the time? You're judging. I'm not enough. I'm comparing myself to someone else. You've got to shut the F up. When we do that, when we shut the F up, we quiet the ego and we're able to truly live in the present moment. Did you just see what I said there? Everyone talks about live in the now, live in the present moment. But if our internal talk is going on, it's not happening. And have you ever learned how to truly talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself and say, you know, you're perfect, you're wise, you're beautiful, you're healthy, you're abundant? Do you say things like that to yourself? That's meaningful conversation. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about anything that says I'm lacking. I don't have it in me. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. That other person's better than me. No one is better than you. Why? Because we're all born unique. You see, until we can shut the F up, there is no possible way to shut the F up with others or with the infinite. At Agape, we teach everything begins and ends with self-love. Begins and ends with self-love. And a self-loving person will not judge, will not complain, will not do that. They will shut the F up. And when you do that with yourself, it's easier to do it with your partner. But if you're not doing it with yourself, if you're complaining and gossiping and you're offering unsolicited opinions to yourself, you're definitely going to be offering it to others. And then if you're doing that with others and yourself, there's no way you're going to be able to be quiet to hear the infinite wisdom within you that can guide and direct you to the greatest things that you can imagine. So think about what I just said. Can you meditate if you don't shut the heck up? Can you pray if you don't really shut the heck up? So what is the best spiritual practice for spiritual growth? Silence. Silence is golden. Silence is where we connect with the infinite. Silence is where we fall in love with ourselves. Silence is where we can fall in love with others. Silence is where we merge into oneness. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to tell you to be silent all the time. There's a time for communication. Communication can be fun. It's laughter. It's sharing. But we have to learn that if you're talking with your partner, if you're having a conversation with your partner, and your partner just wants to share, and you're waiting there with all of this advice, and the second you give that advice, your partner jumps on you, getting mad at you, and you're going, wait a second, I'm trying to help you. Ask the question, did they ask for my opinion? If they didn't ask, don't give it. I know that with my wife, we have an arrangement. She says, Lee, I want to talk. I said, great. We have conversations together. I don't say a word. She'll say, I'm done with the conversation. I said, great. You're complete? Wonderful. Let's move on. Now she says, no, here's what I thought. Tell me what you think. Oh, now she's asked for my opinion. Now I can give it. Until someone asks for your opinion, shut the F up. I like to, sometimes if I really want to give an opinion, I'll ask and I'll say, Jean, would you like some feedback? She'll say, no, I don't want any, or yes, I do. If she says yes, then I can give it. Do you see how I'm really supporting my partner? Do you see how their life is independent of me and I'm honoring that independence by saying, you're not enough, you need my approval, you need my opinion. They don't. No one needs your approval or your opinion except you. But if you don't shut the F up, guess what? You're not even going to give yourself your own approval because you're going to be talking some trash to yourself. Go look in the mirror, look in your eyes and say, would I want to be friends with the person who's doing all this self-talk that's belittling me? Chances are the answer is no. So what must we learn to do? We must learn to be silent. We must learn to be still. We must learn to accept. We must learn to shut the F up. I hope the message today startled you. It was my intention to. It was my intention to consciously press your button so that maybe you will think outside the box. Because what I'm asking here is to think outside the box. So no, this was a deliberate choice on my part to bring this title in this way to you to get you to maybe listen. If it worked, I succeeded. If it didn't work, that's okay too, because I accept myself as I am, and I know that I'm guided by the infinite wisdom. Let me just look at you and tell you you're already perfect. You're unique, you're whole, and you're magnificent. Can you accept that without arguing with me, without arguing with yourself? Be in this moment. Be still and know the I am.